Strap yourselves in. I'm going to make a jump to lightspeed.
What is up, hyperdrivers? Welcome back after a 3-week hiatus. It is time for the Star Wars Cantina Chat, where we discuss all things Star Wars, and we got a lot to catch up on. With me, as always, breaking this stuff down, is the raging Mando himself. What is up, Frankie? How are you?
What's up, people? Glad to be back. Glad to be back.
Man. It's been a while.
Yes,
it really has.
Long while.
I didn't realize how long it was until I actually started going back and looking at everything. I was like, eesh.
Yeah, when you people go gallivanting around the universe.
Joining us also is the wise wizard himself, the prankster of all pranksters, my man Craig. How you doing, man?
Good morning. Glad to be hanging out with you wonderful people.
I got to hang out with Craig last weekend. I'm sure you guys have already seen the live video that I put out, most of you anyway, where he punked me. And I guess we're going to talk a little bit about that here today as well. So that's going to be fun. And joining us also is my man Joseph over here. What's going on, Joseph? How you doing, buddy?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm doing well. I'm happy to be here this morning. I'm a little earlier than you guys.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I'm already featured drinking on the thumbnail. I think it's like 11 in the morning for you guys. So here on the side, I think it's 9 in the morning for you.
9, yeah.
Woo. I'm ready for another drink.
I had a late night last night. So.
Oh, true.
Yeah, it was my wife's birthday, so we went out for dinner with some
Faf.
friends.
You gotta tell Faf happy birthday. I didn't know.
I will. It's actually her birthday's Tuesday, but we went out last friends Saturday night. So
nice.
Yeah, it was great.
It was my daughter's birthday yesterday. So
yeah,
we had
I know.
Big bounce house outside. Yeah,
oh,
little.
Geez.
Got a little bigger than a little. Yeah. I wanted to get in the bounce house with them, but then, my wife had me pick this up, barbecue the food, move this over. By the time it was all said and done, my daughter, you coming into the pool? I was like, I ain't got no energy.
Yeah.
I'll sit here and watch it.
George is like kicking the dirt. I want to play too.
Yeah, exactly. Man, and it was so hot yesterday. Like last Friday when we went to Disney, it was hot, but yesterday was like the devil opened up his doors kind of hot.
Yeah, it was scorching here.
Yeah. And I'm sitting there with the grill going. I was like, nah. So, all right. Let's say hi to people in the chat, and then we're going to get into it. We can talk about all the stuff that's been going down with us. We got Jedi Master Northwest in the house. What's going on? We got Craig in the chat as well. He's like omnipresent. He's in the chat. He's on the video. Anthony, YouTube fan, is in the house. We got Big D up in here. Ryder is here. Josh Cooper. Eben the Collector is here. Borg Cube 1 of 2. We got Sucker Punch, Jedi Shizzled. I'm not sure if I said it already, but I'm going to say it again. GeForce Racing 20's in the house. We got Ryder, Sam Farmer. The chat just jumped on me. Jedi Master Northwest. I know I said that. Len Hansen. Mark Matthew, OG fan when Star Wars was just Star Wars. And Alex, Figure Collector. And Sky Guy is in the house. That's what's up. There's everybody here. We got 20 people in the chat. Please hit that thumbs up when you're coming in. Raging Mando's also in the chat, too. He's another omnipresent person.
Hello.
Guys, all over the place. So, before we get up in the news, let's catch up on things since we haven't really spoken in a long time. Well, we have, but not really in a video.
Right.
What's going on with you, Frankie? How you been, man? I see you got some new stuff behind you.
Yep. So thanks to Craig, I've got the Jazz Ink diorama of the gantry.
Nice.
So I got to get that all set up. I got the Vader and Luke to go on it. I have finally ordered so I can join the 501st. I got my Imperial robes on the way. So
Nice.
Got the Emperor's Royal Guard stuff. I got to do my helmet, and I'll be set.
I got to get on your guys' page, but I know Craig's armor is going to get him in too, right? That Stormtrooper?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I actually got to take photos probably this afternoon before I put it on the mannequin.
You going to take serious photos, or are you going to do,
Yeah, you have to
okay.
To get in. You have they're very specific. Arms out, front, back, side, and arms down.
Action pose.
Yeah, they like have. There is a very, very picky checklist you have to go through.
Okay.
Do not submit the picture that your wife just did.
True.
I can totally picture like Craig with the armor on and like at like a urinal and the pee's like going in the wrong direction.
Right.
Frank,
Yeah, if you don't give me guidelines, there's no telling what pictures you might get.
Yeah. What's that, Joseph?
Frankie, what Royal Guard helmet are you gonna use?
I got the one from Walt's Trooper Factory, so I'm making it myself. They make a whole bunch of them, so they're all approved.
Yeah.
So I got guys from the local 501st that are going to help me put it together.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know how readily available they still are, but Ruby's actually made a fiberglass Royal Guard helmet, and it's beautiful. I mean, they're not known for their like high-end pieces, but that's one of the ones they did. And because I got that one, and I got the one from Anovos, and it actually is even better than the Anovos one.
Oh wow!
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, this will be the only thing that really I put together myself on it. So looking forward to that. Plus, I want to make sure it's got air.
Yeah,
the air flows like the enemy of 501st, man.
Joseph throwing out the what do you call it? Teasers for later topics.
Yeah, one of the topics.
Oh,
no, it's all right. That's gonna be definitely we're definitely talking.
No,
about
that's good. That's good.
Good segue.
Yeah,
segue. There we go. That's what the word I was hunting for.
We got some people rolling in. Got Jedi Master Star Wars Church. I've thought about calling it that, but I didn't know. I just felt like I was gonna have like people coming into the chat and be like, "You can't call it church." Like, you guys are crazy.
Right.
Get enough from my own family. Mark Papa, how you doing, man? Anthony, YouTube fan, what's going on? Emilio Fuentes made it to a live stream. Good job. Looks like Anthony may be in the middle of that storm that's hitting the East Coast right now. There's like a hurricane up north. New York got hit bad, man.
We feel your pain.
Yeah, dude. Wish you guys the best, man. What we got here, totally off topic, but Joseph, any chance we could see the gun in action again you showed off on the Collection Wars during the live stream? Which gun did you? Oh, is that the
Zf1?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I can do that at the end of the show.
All right.
So you gotta stay with us the whole show.
That Zf1 is pretty badass too.
Yeah.
So Craig, I know what you've been doing last week. What were you gonna say, Joseph?
No, I was gonna say now we're working on the second incarnation of that. So that's this one. The one I have is the prototype. It's 3D printed, but the next one that we're doing, I actually got the fiberglass shell from the original screen used, pulled off of the original screen used piece, the grip from the screen used piece, and the remote control from all screen used, and we're scanning those, and we're going to reproduce all those in resin fiberglass with a metal frame, and it's just going to be incredible. It's going to be something. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, the 3D printed one is pretty heavy, so I can only imagine I'm probably not even going to be able to lift the other one with one arm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Joseph, you got all the cool toys, bro. You need to have like Joker. Like, where does he get those wonderful toys?
Yeah.
Right. No doubt. No doubt. Life goals.
Right?
I mean, that's a couple hours right there, right behind him that you could just be staring at.
Right.
Oh, I know.
It's something. It's something. I can't believe, I mean, all of this stuff just got kind of unboxed and thrown up, and I still have so much work to do. Well, you guys know that. But yeah, it's gonna be, and now I'm just scared because that's like, only half of the Star Wars collection, but the Star Wars section is already full, so I'm not sure what to do. You're gonna be having a blowout
There's a lot of space right here.
Knocking out walls.
You could give it to us. We'll display it, and then you can come visit.
This is Joseph's collection
right here. Yeah, we curate for Joseph.
Jazz Inc. I actually just set up these 8. I have 8 Jazz Inc. dioramas that are going in right to the side here.
Nice.
So that'll be cool. Yeah. How do you like that? The Bespin gantry.
I'm like blown away. The detail on it, the weathering on it, it's incredible. And what really surprised me is how heavy that thing is.
Yes.
Yeah. His pieces are very heavy.
Solid cast resin.
Yeah, they're heavy.
Stout.
Yeah. I have that piece. I haven't taken it out of the box and assembled it yet, but I'm very excited for all of those. So.
Yeah.
Very cool. Be looking, watching for your setup.
Yeah.
I might be hitting you guys up for some advice on that.
All right, we got Chris and what's going on, Chris? How you doing, man? And then we got you can call it a temple. Hey, that's a good one. You can call it temple. It'll be less triggering to some.
Right.
Emilio is talking about the MegaCon vid. Thanks for watching it. I know it was a long video, guys, but like I said, there's a lot of in there, including my man Craig punking me. So, like I started to say, Craig, I know what you've been doing for the last week, so we've been hanging out.
By the way, I just got a notice that Jim's on, so I got to go watch.
So when he said that to Seth, what were you thinking?
At that point, I saw the camera, and I was like, okay, so he's at first, like, he did a good job with it. He got the costume, which I already knew he was going to get the costume, but he comes walking around in the costume, which triggers me immediately. But I see a Star Wars suit, and he hadn't said anything to anybody. And I have my camera. I was like, "Oh, stormtrooper costume!" I was like, "Come here," So, and then he starts talking to me, and
that was great.
Yeah,
that you were just filming him.
It was perfectly natural at that point, It's because I was just like, perfect way to get me engaged in before without having to say anything to me.
Right.
So
I knew that was going to happen too, because you got this tunnel vision like this, and I turn back. It's like, oh crap, he's in, and they're not filming yet, So all this had been planned out for quite a while, actually, since I ordered this Stormtrooper armor. And long story short, OG is helping me coordinate all this. So Jeff, the owner of Slap Happy, I'm trying to get his attention, start filming, because I knew George was going to engage me. He's basically got 5 people standing around, and one of them is a Stormtrooper. So
yeah,
so,
he stood right out.
Panic mode. Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't see the camera at that point. He walks off, and then he and Seth start talking. That's when I come back. And when he said the thing about Gem Mint, I noticed the GoPro on the gun, and I'm like, that don't belong there. So, and I'm looking at Seth, and Seth is giving me this look like, I'm gonna kill this guy. Like he just called me Gem Mint. And I'm like, Seth, he's got a camera, Seth. And Seth's like, what do you mean? And I was like, he's a fucking camera right there. I'm like, calm down. And then so I think at that point he had said that he liked it, or he had already gotten past the part where he liked Gem Mint better than us. I think he had gone past the point also where he asked about our YouTube subscribers,
Yeah.
And then he does it like all casual, like, oh, 32,000, that's not bad.
That's all right.
I'm known better, and I'm hearing it in his voice. I'm like, we're gonna end up on some video somewhere. And Seth's gonna beat this guy.
You did good with the facial expressions though, because you were keeping it together. What's funny was when he went to put when he looked over when he's saying about Slap Happy stuff.
Yeah.
And then you put your finger up like this dude.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Seth and them
looked. The slap crappy.
Yeah, and he goes, it's more like slap crappy.
Yeah. Seth just went to a blank stare.
Yeah,
you could tell he wanted to kick his butt, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was a meltdown. He was just doing everything he could to keep it together. I'm gonna kill this guy. You could see it in his face.
The punching was iffy, but I figured he would have said something.
Yeah, I thought Seth would have come out a little bit more at first. I think after I told him the camera thing is when he started to hold it back a little bit, and I'm laughing, especially when he said the slap crappy thing. I'm like, I'm sitting there, I was like, this guy.
George gets this nervous laugh, I'm either going to hit you or I need to walk away.
Yeah. And then he's like, oh, let's get together and do a promo thing. And I'm like, who is this dude? And then when he came up to me, it was there was somebody else that had approached me, I think afterwards, that I had a similar interaction with, but he wasn't asking me about my videos. He just kept repeating the same thing over and over and over. So I'm trying to get away from the guy, and the guy keeps telling me the over and over the same thing. I'm like, okay, this guy's kind of a little bit weird. I was like, let me step away. So that's where I was when Craig was saying the whole thing about slap crappy, and then he comes off and he says he wants to take or do a promo video with us.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there. I'm like, why are we doing this? So. And then I see the owner's wife with the camera, and then he does the whole thing where he reveals the helmet. I was like, at first, it didn't even equate. I was like, that looks like Craig. I'm like, what's Craig doing here? I'm like,
yeah. That's one of my favorite parts of the video, actually, is that we shake, hug, and all that, and then you walk over to the side and just start dying laughing. It's like everything just kind of
it hit him over there.
Yeah, it hit him. and he just starts cackling, laughing off to the side. You know, it was like this stunned moment, and then to realizing what's going on.
I was so glad it was over, man, because I was afraid I was going to screw up. Like when I was texting Craig and like, because I'm talking to you sometimes, and then we're talking about it, what he's going to do. And I was like, man, I hope I don't send this to George by accident.
That's why like only 2 people knew about it. And
then he was, before he went down there, we're trying to figure out which voice he should use.
And I didn't. After I watched it back, I was like, you're so in the moment. I'm like, I'm talking in my voice. I'm like, so wonder they didn't pick up that it was me.
I showed my wife the video, and she's like, how did you not tell that was Craig? I was like, I mean, when you're there, all I heard was like a microphone sound. I mean, and then it does the real good sound effect, which like every time he talks. Yeah. So to me, it just sounded like the radio. You know?
Plus, he threw you off thinking that he wasn't there anyway. So
I would have never.
He's not registering. Yeah.
He didn't know I had the armor yet. You know, backburnered that. I've had it a couple weeks now. I was going to pitch my voice up to disguise, but like I said, whenever you appeared right there, it's like everything's out the window and. Just remember
because if you hear that other voice, it's even funnier. It's so annoying sounding.
Yeah.
Well, I honestly, when you said let's do a promo, I was thinking to myself, I hope he doesn't say let's do a promo for Jim Mint's channel.
Right?
That would have set it off. I think that would have been the end of it for Seth.
You can't really hear it because I had set the gun down, which was with the main audio on it. But I said, "What was y'all's channel again?"
Yeah,
at one point, MC.
Oh man, that was so damn funny. I think that was probably the best part, man.
It's a question for Joseph.
Question for everyone: with all the collectibles a lot of us own, does space ever become an issue? Yes. The box are another battle. The struggle is real, dude. My garage it's a constant game of Tetris in my garage. You know.
Yeah. The attic is actually what it's for.
I ain't even got space in my attic. You guys have an attic.
I just try to reserve storage units for mine, and that was a total disaster because they built this new storage facility like 3 minutes away from where I live, and I was like, perfect. And they're brand new, so I was able to get a couple of them. And then I went in there, and it was so humid. It's like 86% humidity. And I was like, I can't keep anything here. This is ridiculous. And it's supposedly climate controlled. It's indoors. So yeah, the boxes are definitely an issue. So.
My attic's getting packed.
OG said Seth was waiting till the helmet came off to get a good punch to the face.
So we laughed about it the entire weekend.
That was incredible. I literally, I don't laugh out loud often when I'm watching things, but I couldn't handle it. That was one of the best things that I've seen in a long time.
I've never been punked like that in my life. You know, it was so damn cool. I felt honored by it. You know, it's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if you watched the gag, but I literally was extremely nervous. You know, that like something's going to screw it up. They're going to see me. They're going to make me take the helmet off, going through the line, and they're going to be 2 people behind me. You know, I was just terrified that I drove 8 hours and the gag was going to get blown. But
I watched your whole video.
Yeah, it went. Awesome. It went flawlessly. Yeah, I was just saying everybody.
Okay.
You get this spike on your analytics that everybody's watching.
Yeah, one part. Yeah, I watched that. Yeah, it was awesome. I sat there. I made it through the whole thing. And then it made me want to buy the armor. That was the other thing, too. That's what I asked you. Like, how much was that armor? Because I really want to get it now.
I think the other subtle thing that's funny is if you know about the armor, it's like watching him. I was like, what's he going to do if he can't get the helmet off? Because he's trying to adjust his arm so he can reach it.
Yeah, he tried to at first. Like his arms went up first and then it went back down. I was like...
So if you're ever watching these things, the Stormtrooper helmet is shaped like this because of the front face part. So you're supposed to rotate it to take it off. Well, I went kind of just barely like this. I actually cut my forehead. I don't know if you saw it while we were walking around. Or I scratched my forehead pretty good because I didn't disembark properly.
You like the RS armor?
I don't have anything to compare it to in hand, but to me, it's just beyond amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it looked incredible, and the proportions, everything, it looked great.
Yeah, people that don't know any better, I mean, they're very asymmetrical. It looks janky.
Yeah.
And that just makes it perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, they have Muir, is that how you say his last name? On the guy that sculpted Vader and sculpted the Trooper and all off of the Macquarie.
Oh, Dennis.
Yes. Yeah.
Or, sorry, not Brian. Brian.
Yeah, he's on there. Like whenever they started out doing the vacuum forms and all that, he was advisor. You get a plaque with his name on it and all that for authenticity. So all the defects, all the little bubbles in the paint and all that are supposedly what they used in '77. So
he's a really nice guy. It's crazy because when I first started my Instagram page, after a couple of months, when you get the notifications that someone started following you, and it said, Brian Muir.
Nice.
Started following you, and I was like, this can't be the same guy.
The guy, right? Sweet.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Jeff Road is tuning in. What's going on, dude? Rogue Empire, sorry. Caesar, how you doing, man? Yeah.
Which helmet maker is better, RS or Anovos?
Anovos. I'd probably say RS is probably more accurate, right?
Well, it depends on what you're looking for, right? So if you want something that feels very well, okay. Let's backtrack. Let's go back to when Anovos was making things and producing them in factories in China. Okay, so if you want something that has the look and feel of a master replicas piece, like a fiberglass helmet that's lined and really nice, then the Anovos ones were, I think, better because they were definitely. I mean, they were just like the master replicas ones. The RS ones are more accurate, but they definitely feel like they're made more like the actual ones were made for the film. So a lot of them are made from ABS plastic, and they just feel kind of like. I mean, obviously, the original Stormtrooper helmets were not made from fiberglass, but the RS one is just it has that kind of lighter feel to it. Now they definitely do some, I think, that are better, more accurate. But to me, it's almost comparing a hard hat to a motorcycle helmet, right? So one is kind of plastic and cheap feeling, but the motorcycle helmet just has that kind of rich, quality feel to it. Yeah. So, but I don't know if you have much of a choice anymore.
Yeah. Let's get on that, man.
Let's get on that.
Yeah.
So, Anovos was recently bought out by Rubies and NECA. Now, I guess the big question is this going to help people get their products finally? Because Anovos has been notorious now for not delivering. So,
thank you for your money.
Yeah.
In fact, I think I'm don't quote me on this, but the word is that it's over $1 million in unfulfilled pre-orders.
Jesus.
Yeah.
How do you run a business like that?
I was gonna say if they got so for me, like when I heard about that, it wasn't when I was starting to look around for a helmet, I didn't even think about going to them because just the amount of people that were saying I'm not getting my stuff. It's been years. I'm like, that's no thanks.
Yeah. So if you want the kind of the backstory on how all of that went down, basically Anovos started producing, they started producing these helmet replicas and a lot of other things in China, right? Just like master replicas, EFX. But what happened is it started to get difficult to manage that, and they started to get behind. When
why was it difficult?
Well, when you talk to them, this is what they'll tell you, and how true this is. You kind of have to decide, right? Which is that when they design a piece, and they prototype it and they send it to China, there's a lot of upfront investment costs, right, in making the masters and the molds and doing the run and all of that. So their way of funding that was to take money from the customers, take that pre-order money and fund the production of the piece with that money. However, if you run into a problem or the licensor, like Disney, doesn't like what came out of the factory, then you have to go back to the drawing board, start again, make new masters, make new molds, and all of that stuff costs
Wasn't in the
more
budget.
money than you collected from the pre-orders. And if you don't have that money, then what do? You put out another pre-order to get money to fund the production of the first piece. Now, that's a very slippery slope, and it's
Never
not
catch
long
up.
before you have 30 or 40 pre-orders out there and you haven't produced 5 pieces. And so I think now if you ask Anovos, if you ask the people from Anovos, that's what happened. If you believe that they're scammers and that they just took that money, lived high on the hog, and never produced anything, well, that's another. I mean, some people feel that way. Certainly the people who put a bunch of money into pre-orders and never got anything, feel that way. But the thing you have to remember is there aren't many companies that got the Star Wars license to do this kind of stuff that lasted very long, right? Master Replicas went under, Anovos is on, EFX is, they're barely producing, you're waiting years for things. Their Scout Trooper Legend helmet, that's been like 8 years people have been waiting for that. So it's really tough. Now the transition to this new company, there's a lot of mystery surrounding it, right? Because the announcement says one thing, I've heard conflicting information about what's going on. But basically the bottom line is a new company was formed, which is a not so subtle transition from Anovos. The company's called De Novo, which in Latin translates to make new again for the second time. Come on, right? Like, that's not very subtle. And but the announcement says that they are a wholly owned subsidiary of Rubies and NECA. Now, whether or not that company was created by Anovos, some people say it was, some people say it isn't. I've heard all kinds of stuff. But bottom line is, new company was formed. Licenses from Anovos are transitioned to the new company. That company is owned and run supposedly by NECA and Rubies. And that allows the manufacturing that Rubies has and NECA has at their disposal, and their distribution, that allows them to kind of facilitate the creation and the new new product development, because funding is key in all of this, and they have a lot of money. NECA has a lot of money, and Rubies has a lot of money, and they have a worldwide distribution.
Right.
So,
but NECA is like they're synonymous with figures, and I wouldn't say high-end replicas like that.
Right.
And
Neither
Rubies,
is Rubies.
Really, Rubies is kind of low end also.
Yeah, but if they can actually get this thing going, there's money to be made from it, because if they start getting product on time, more people will actually start buying from them.
Well, here's the thing. I wrote to them. I wrote to De Novo because I have outstanding Anovos orders, and I spoke to my contacts at Anovos, and I said, so look, if I write to De Novo, am I just still writing to you guys the same nonsense, where I write and I don't get a response for weeks on end, and I try and try.
Right.
And they're like, no, if you write to De Novo, you're writing to NECA customer service, basically.
Okay.
And lo and behold, I wrote to them, and within less than a day, I got a response. Yes, we have your order numbers on file. These are the pieces that we owe you. We are planning to get this piece out by the end of 2021, and these 2 pieces out by early 2022. It was like, wow,
Encouraging.
But it was encouraging, and I said to myself, how the hell are they going to do all of this, right? But the reality is that those factories in China, they have all these things were already developed, right? They were prototyped. The factories have, the molds and everything to do all of this, but Anovos didn't have the money to pay them. Now, if NECA steps in and forks over all this cash to the factories, they can easily knock this stuff out and get all of this stuff to the customers. If the will is there and the money is there.
Yeah, but they're not making any money off that. That's what doesn't make any sense to me. I think the part that the disconnect for me is you or all of us, let's say all of us ordered stuff from Anovos. We've given Anovos our money. Anovos has taken the money. They haven't delivered on the product. Now there's this new company that NECA bought out, which I don't understand what the buyout part is, but now they're inheriting all of this, all of these orders, but they didn't collect on any of these orders. So
I guess that's a risk you take with it's kind of a marketing plan, isn't it? Where now we'll actually get the stuff out to people, and then it's going to be a good quality. So then that word of mouth is going to spread out, and people will start buying from them.
Well, the question is, what is the motivation, right? Because you're right, George. They didn't get any of that money.
Mm-hmm.
So why would they do this for the collectors? Well, there's a couple of options really when you consider it. They want to foster goodwill, right? They get these orders that they figure. Let's say there's a stormtrooper helmet, right? And there were 80 outstanding Anovos orders or 100 outstanding Anovos orders. Well, they say, okay, well, let's tell the factory instead of producing a run of 500, let's produce a run of 600, and we'll send the 100 out to the collectors who had already had those on order, and everybody gets their orders, and it's goodwill and good publicity, and then we can sell the other 500 and we make money for that. The other option is it may be a condition of the license. It may be that Disney is forcing that you're going to take over this license. You have to take over what the people who have already purchased this piece are owed. But I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that is. I don't know how this works exactly. So,
so
both of those things are possibilities.
I'm gonna wait before I order from the new Anovos or whatever they want to call themselves.
Well, the biggest challenge they're going to have right now is shipping. They don't have any containers in China. That's the biggest. That's the biggest constraint.
Well, they have, but they're being prioritized for larger companies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're EFX, right, then you get one container full of pieces. But if you're Walmart and you're bringing in 100 containers, you're going to be prioritized as a company and NECA and Rubies, they ship all over the world. So they may actually be able to do this more easily than other companies.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, because I work for Caterpillar and we're having trouble getting containers.
I'm wondering how bad the shipping could be for
never mind that, because Caterpillar is huge.
I'm wondering how bad the shipping could be for something like a helmet, something how big are the boxes from EFX or from Anovos? I can't imagine that they're the size of a statue box.
No, they're not that big.
Yeah,
they're maybe 18 inches square.
I say we just rent a plane and go pick some stuff up.
Yeah.
Jeff had said my thoughts. Rubies I don't think of as they're like
costumes.
Pardon?
When I think of Rubies, I think of like Halloween costumes.
Halloween costumes, exactly. Yeah. So that's my thought is the quality going to come down, or are they going to step it to? Are they going to stay mostly screen accurate to stuff? So.
Christopher's
remember the thing is that those pieces, it depends on who's prototyping them, right? And then what factory is producing them. Now, if the factory already has these things in hand and they have been making these things for the last couple of decades for Master Replicas and EFX and Anovos, then all Rubies really has to do is fork over the money to the factory and say, okay, well, we want you to finish producing this piece. And so the quality really is dependent on the factory, not necessarily the people who are at Rubies.
Right.
Right.
But yeah,
I'm just saying 2 years from now, are they going to make it, more of a affordable line or an accurate line?
Yeah. It's almost like it's almost like if you told me that I don't know. What was that car company back in the day that made the cars out of plastic? I think Geo, I think was the name of the company.
Mm-hmm.
If you told me that Geo is going to be making Lexus, I would be like, I don't know. So, it just doesn't seem right.
Right, but if Geo Corporate bought Lexus,
right, the company, right,
then, would you expect, because Lexus is still producing Lexuses. So
I still would
don't
be
know.
wondering
I
at
don't
that
know.
point.
We'll see, but I will tell you this. I will keep you guys posted.
Yeah.
If I get the things that I ordered, I will certainly be happy to like review them, on air. If you
And then if they do what they
Absolutely.
said they're going to do, you feel compelled to order from them again?
If they follow through, I might.
If they produce and they send me the things that I've ordered and not received, and let's not, I mean, I'm not going to mince, we're talking about like 11 pre-orders that I have.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all not cheap, right?
Right.
So if they really come through, that would restore a lot of faith. And if they do it in a timely manner, then I would be like, yeah, well, I guess this is the real deal.
And what if something comes up where they're going to get, there's a hiccup in the chain, but they're communicating with you about it?
Yeah.
How will that work? You'd be okay with that?
Oh, of course I would. In fact, I think that's the biggest problem with these companies is that they don't,
or lack of.
try and write an email to customer service at EFX. I don't think I've ever gotten a response from any email I've ever sent them.
Oh, wow.
Right. Anovos is the same way. I mean, I would write to them and I wouldn't get responses. I would literally, all the information that I got about my orders were through contacts that I had at Anovos that I literally have to pick up the phone, call them on their cell phone and be like, what the hell's going on? Right. And, but this new company, the new Anovo, or NECA customer service or whoever's behind it, I mean, we emailed back and forth. I probably have 10 emails back and forth between me and their customer service, all that took place in one day. So they're communicating. And I don't know who it is. I don't know who they hired. I don't know if it really is NECA customer service. I've never dealt with NECA or Ruby's customer service. You guys may have. But so far, I've been really impressed, at least with the communication. And almost every email, I'm like, all I can tell you guys is I really appreciate the communication here.
Okay.
Where were you at with Anovos as far as your 11 pre-orders? Like, what type of time frame are we talking for the oldest one? And were you mentally like, I'm going to sue them, I'm giving up, I'll never see that?
So there was a class action lawsuit against them, by the way. And I don't know what happened with that because I did not get involved in it because I still had some hope that they might pull through, because here's what happened. So remember all the stuff I told you guys about producing in China and the difficulties with that? Well, a few years back, they said, okay, we can't do this anymore. Let's transition everything to local production. So they opened up a facility in Texas where they hired a bunch of artists and they started to try to produce the pieces in-house. That's why for people who ordered like the Mandalorian helmet or the Royal Guard helmet, right? They got those pieces. I got those pieces, right? My Mandalorian helmet's right over there. But what you will see is if you look at the reviews, it was very hit or miss in terms of quality. My Mando helmet from them is awesome, but I know a lot of people who got Mando helmets with like fingerprints and the clear coat. And so because they were just being, they were being produced locally by people who don't have, decades of experience in manufacturing like they do in China. So they tried to do that, but they just couldn't meet the numbers, meet the demand, especially with not having any money coming in, right? I mean, people aren't pre-ordering stuff from them anymore. So, so where I'm at with my orders, I have orders dating back to 2015.
Dang.
And
wow.
Things that I did not get. Now here's one of the things I tried to do back in March. I called Anovos because I realized, I wasn't going to get any of these pieces. This is never going to happen. I mean, they sent me a few things. They sent me the Royal Guard helmet, which I had pre-ordered years before and paid for. So I was really surprised to get it. So they were trying, I think. But what I did is I told them, look, I realize I'm not getting any of these things for you guys. So in lieu of these orders that I've already paid for, I will take a Ghostbusters Proton Pack, because they had been producing those and they were sending out newsletters showing them in the shipping crates, like with the labels on them, going out the door. So I said, okay, these are in hand. They've been produced.
Mm-hmm.
I want something, right, for all this money.
Your money, right.
Right.
So I'll take that. So they said, okay, we'll do that. So they did the whole calculation in terms of the money, and this is how many pre-orders you got to give up to get the Proton Pack. I was like, okay, that's fine. Let's do it. And guess what?
Didn't get it.
That was in March. That was in March, and I don't have a Ghostbusters Proton Pack.
That sucks.
So I called my contact there, and I was like, come on now. Okay, look, Anovos is done. The website's closed. What the hell happened to my order? He said, the ones you saw going out the door, that was wave 1. You were wave like 3, and we just didn't get to those.
Wow.
We were still waiting for parts from China and blah blah blah. I mean, who knows what but that's what I was told. So I now wrote to the NECA, to New Anovo, and I said, look, here are my orders. I sacrificed these orders for something that I never got. So I still want my orders, my original Star Wars orders. I mean, I pre-ordered those and I paid for them.
Yeah.
So we'll see if they come through on all of that. Well, I'll be singing it from the rooftops.
Right. Right.
You guys will know. I'll certainly tell you.
I'm assuming nobody in their upper management has anything to do with anything now, with the takeover of NECA and Ruby's. They punted all of Anovos.
Well, actually, nobody really knows. Because I've been told 2 different things by 2 very reputable sources who are supposedly in the know. One of whom said, oh, yeah, the new company is basically the same guys who owned Anovos. And the other person said, we spoke to those guys. They say they have nothing to do with it. So it's a very strange situation. And I mean, it could be a little of both, right? It could be a new company, but they brought on the old team, to help in the transition. Or it could be that the new company is, specifically owned by the old company. The name is obviously just very suspect, right?
Right.
So
I thought the same.
Yeah. So you I don't know. You kind of have to evaluate all of that with with your own common sense but we'll see. The proof is in the pudding. So
yeah.
say, right?
To me, the name is like
man.
wink, wink. We're new. Wink.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. And yeah, it is very wink, wink. And so we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, I am. Let's just put it this way: not for my own orders or the money that I already sank into all of this, but I want them to be successful. I not because I want my orders, because I want there to be a company that is producing these things for the collectors. Because if they don't do that, there isn't anybody.
Right.
And I think it's something that we all want. And we would all love to have, a little piece of that in our collection. And not just Star Wars. I mean, there's Star Trek, there's... I'm sorry, I'm reading.
Oh man, Joseph, that's crazy. The fact that you're a customer has to deal with the hassle of reminding, keeping tabs on your orders. That with them is so bad. Yeah, I agree, Joseph.
And we're talking about. I mean, let me give you another little anecdote. This one will blow you away. So back in 2013, I ordered a Star Trek uniform from them. It was from the Wrath of Khan, right? The red uniform. I've always wanted one. I saw it. I was like, okay, this is perfect, because they really did produce really high quality pieces.
So not the flute, right?
Not the flute.
Okay.
No. The Star Trek. So I ordered it right in 2013. In 2014, I went to a Star Trek convention in Las Vegas, and Anovos was there, and they had the prototype uniforms there. I tried on the size that I had ordered, and it fit perfectly. But then when I turned, like, all the snaps snapped off. Like, it was super fitted and tight. So I asked them, I said, what's going on here, with this sizing? They said, yeah, the factory made a mistake, and they produced all of these in European sizes. So they're super like slim fit.
Right.
I was like, oh, you mean you didn't account for the American
French fries.
body happiness, right?
Right.
So they said, well, look, here's the thing. We are doing a version 2.0 with the factory to account for the differences. If you want, we'll hold your order and we'll send you the 2.0 version. It's going to be more accurate, et cetera, et cetera. I was like, okay, great. I didn't have any reason to doubt that at the time. And I waited, and I waited, and I waited, and I waited. And then about a year ago, I called them up and I was like, look, I'm done. 2013 to 2020, right? 7 years.
7 years.
I said, I'm starting to get the idea that this 2.0 is never going to happen. And my contact there said, yeah, it's kind of on hold indefinitely. So I said, okay, I want to cancel my order, and I'll take store credit, and I'll just get whatever I can get that's in stock. So I took the store credit. I bought some things that I really didn't want, including, I got a Rey outfit for my wife, and, a couple of other things.
Come on now, it's not for her.
It wasn't for her. It was for me. So a month later, right, they contact me and they say, guess what? We found some of the original run that we did, the one with the European sizing. We found some in our warehouse. You still want one? And I was like, yeah, I want one. I mean, I don't care at this point. I mean, I just want a uniform. I'll have a tailor resize it. And they said, okay, that's great. But you got to pay us for it because you already canceled the order and used that credit for other stuff.
Yeah. Fucking people.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
I was like, you thought you already lost it. Just ship it. You ain't missing it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I was like, you guys should be paying me for waiting 7 years.
Yeah.
That should just be interest on my money, right?
So
interest, right? Yeah.
Fill all the other orders. Yeah.
So Len's asking if you did cancel your orders, would you get the deposits back? And I think that's the issue. They weren't giving deposits back.
Yeah.
They're just keeping the money.
Anovos, yeah.
So it's Anovos. They weren't giving any money back because they had no money.
They had no money.
Right.
Yeah.
You could only get store credit, and then
credit.
you could buy the stuff that was still in stock.
Yeah.
The new company, De Nuevo Novo, in their frequently asked questions section, says that we will fulfill your pre-orders that you had, but you cannot cancel, and you can't get a refund.
And they even say in it most of the pre-orders. I found it funny that they put the word most in their even.
Yeah, I think they only got the license for Star Wars. All of the stuff that you ordered
Right.
through them that was either Star Trek, Ghostbusters,
Oh,
or anything
okay.
else.
That's what they mean. Okay.
That's what they mean.
So my understanding is that they are going to, well, at least they are going to try to transfer all of the other licenses. But for now, it is only Star Wars. Because I asked them, because at first I said, well, what about the Ghostbusters Proton Pack that they owe? They said, unfortunately, no. All we can recommend is that you try and do a chargeback with your credit card company. And then I wrote and I said, well, here's the whole story. That Proton Pack wasn't purchased. It was supposed to be a trade for all these other orders.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And so we'll see if they come back. I mean, my suspicion is they're going to come back and say, well, technically you canceled those orders for something else. But since I never got that something else, then it's kind of an unfulfilled contract.
Still stands, yeah.
It still stands. But if they come back and they say, yeah, we will meet all of those prior orders, I'll be blown away. Really, I'll be blown away.
How much is a license? Like for a Star Wars license?
That's the question.
They're a lot.
That's my thing with so with 3D printers now, and so some of the products that you can make, like if they would just set up where people could pay an annual fee, like you do with Adobe, right? Just pay an annual fee for it, they would probably be able to make a whole bunch more money because more people would pay into it to be able to produce stuff. They get it out. I mean, third party gets it out faster than the actual company.
They wouldn't have control then, which would be the
Right,
problem.
but I mean, you're paying that license, and then with the understanding, hey, these people,
Yeah, but then how are you going to take and manage, like you said, how are you going to take and manage what's being produced out there?
They're all about control.
Because you gotta figure whatever these people are producing is a reflection on your company.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're taking and making a stormtrooper helmet that is junk, and the person paid $700 for it, that's going to reflect back on the company that made it.
I mean, they could do it like they do now, right? I mean, they got to get approved, right? So they could do the same thing.
But they're approving one company versus like if you had something like a thing, you'd be approving everybody.
The mouse can afford it. All right.
Yeah.
That's another topic we're going to get into in just a second. I got some shit to say about this whole Disney Star Wars hotel. You know,
but remember,
I'm still full of paper.
But Frankie, when they issue a license, they issue a license to only one company because that company doesn't want other people producing the same thing.
Right.
We just saw that with that Mandalorian quarter scale statue and Sideshow and Iron Studios, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole point, right? That one company wants to be able to do this and not have competition exclusively.
Yeah.
Right.
And the other thing is the approval process. I will tell you one more story if we have time from Anovos and this whole situation with licensing and the approvals. This is one of the stories that I was told by them in kind of justification for why things have been the way they have been. And that was, they told me that they had produced, the Han Solo belt with all the Greeblies on it. Yeah.
The control. You must have control.
Yeah. So they had produced that belt. They had produced it under Lucasfilm, the belt with all the Greeblies, and Lucasfilm approved it. So they went ahead with the production. They produced the whole thing. They had them all ready to go, ready to ship. Then Disney acquired Lucasfilm, and Disney said, no, we have to approve all of those pieces now.
Yeah.
So they sent the pieces, and one of the pieces had these like 2 copper prongs on them or whatever. And they said, you can't ship this out. This is an abrasion risk.
Jesus.
And they were like, but we've already produced them. We have them in our warehouse. They're ready to ship out, right? We've already paid
somebody getting
all
hurt.
of it. They said, sorry, you gotta redo the whole thing.
Because they're worried about a lawsuit.
So from pre-order to shipping, instead of it being the 1 year that they had, they were ready to ship, it then carried on for another 2 years. So it took 3 years from pre-order to shipping. Mm-hmm. And that's the problem they face with these companies and the licensors. Yeah. I mean, look at Jazz Inc. He just got that. He made that deal with WB. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know the details of it, right, with Warner Brothers, but he seems to think it's been a good experience.
Warner Brothers and DC, I heard, is DC is a lot more lenient from what I hear. Most people say that.
I would think so.
Yeah.
When I know when QMX did the production of the studio Milano from Guardians of the Galaxy, I know the person who did that, who made that for QMX. He told me they had to send the ship back and forth to Marvel 4 times before they finally approved the final paint master.
Yeah,
Can you imagine?
Really bad stories about not just the approval process, but just how Disney comes at people for things on that versus like what DC does. I mean,
You talking about European sizes? I'm putting together a mannequin with the Rodan Greedo setup or whatever. Anyway, I ordered this. It's more in the ruby quality or whatever. Like the belt is pleather garbage that I'll throw away and replace. But anyway, so I didn't pay attention to that. Everything was in the European sizes or whatever. So I get this thing in and I'm filming and I put it on. I got Greedo and capri pants. Oh my God. I ordered like an extra large. Just like, okay, I'll get it big, make sure I get on the mannequin. It literally came up to my knees. Jenny's in there just dying laughing. The video should be pretty funny on it. But so I had to reorder that.
Craig, if you're interested, I'll connect you with a friend of mine who's actually doing a life-size Greedo, and he's a stickler for accuracy, and he's getting all the clothing right now.
Oh, nice.
Different. Yeah. So if I can connect you with him, and
there's your gun source.
Please do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I made a cheap resin version.
All right.
Yep.
So speaking, George.
Cool.
Speaking of
do
Disney,
that.
What's up? What'd you say?
Oh no!
I was just saying Joseph to give me the information before we moved on. Yes, please.
Yeah. All right. So shifting subjects a little bit. Me and Craig just got back from Galaxy's Edge. I know Frankie is coming down here in October. Back with Craig, we're gonna have a big group Galaxy's Edge thing going down, which I can't wait for that.
Cannot wait.
Joseph is actually gonna be at Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland next week with another group. So you guys gonna check that? I don't know if the guys are gonna be doing videos and all that, but I mean, I'm sure there's gonna be some recording.
We will be. It'll be Gabe and Michael from Collection Wars. Lee Batten, Sean Gonzalez is going to be there. David Boudreau, and myself. We're all meeting up there. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Are you going California or Florida?
California.
Yeah. I want to go, but
I wish you could
I have
be
to
there.
pay for Disneyland tickets. I have season passes, but my season passes don't transfer to the Disneyland season pass, so it's all right.
I cannot believe that. Well,
It's
we
true
did.
offense.
George and I went to Galaxy's Edge together December 2019 now.
2019. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because I think about it. I'm like, oh, it was just last year. I was like, no, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Like, I totally missed my 41st birthday. Like, the last couple months ago, me and Candy were arguing about it. She's like, you're going to be 42 this year. I'm like, no, I'm 41. So then she's like, no. So like, I just turned 40. And she's like, 2020. And I was like, oh, yeah. Well, that's a miss.
Oh.
Like,
Repressed.
yeah. But anyway, the one thing I've been waiting for with Galaxy's Edge is the Star Wars hotel. And a week or two ago, they announced the Star Wars hotel pricing. We never got a chance to do a video on it because we were all busy, and so I never had to do the live video. But I am really, really upset with the pricing of that hotel. And I wanted to get your guys' opinions on it, because we have all walks of life here with as far as what we can afford, our finances. It's, at least for me, it's not necessarily that I couldn't afford to do it. It's more of, it's hard for me to justify the idea of doing it.
Right. George is like, I'm so upset with the price, I'm only going twice.
You're only going twice. I can't even.
And I'm like, what 9 people want to go rent that room with me?
Yeah, right. It's like I feel like I got to sneak people in there. It's like if Disney caught me doing that, I'd be like, "Yo, I'm supposed to be cosplay or what is it they call it, LARPing, right? I am a smuggler. I'm smuggling people in. Like,
right.
Cover the cost of this. I can't believe it cost almost $2,000 for a single person to go to this damn hotel. It's
I'd like
absurd.
to know what all's included. What's this experience? I know they're talking about it.
Their
but
website, they have the very, very specific itinerary all the way through every hour.
I'm getting a
basically.
bathrobe, right?
Huh?
I get a bathrobe, right?
I imagine
Meals are included, but drinks are not.
Yeah, how did you not include drinks?
Yeah, that was a big no-no.
I can't believe that.
At least
That
one
is not
per
all
meal.
for that price.
Yeah.
So I
But
was
here's the- George, but
writing
it's not
some.
$2,000. You got to fly there too. Remember?
Well, for you got to fly. Yeah, I got to drive.
Across the country.
But the park ticket is included. So you got that
but,
going
okay,
for you.
but check this out though. The park ticket's included, but the park ticket it's included because part of the experience takes you to
Is in the
Galaxy's
park.
Edge.
Right.
It's in
So
the park.
they
right.
take you for a few hours to the park, and you get to do the rides, and then you got to go. Then you got to go back to the hotel to go continue on with your experience, which doesn't make me feel like I'm having an experience that is natural. It makes me feel like, okay, we're gonna be corralled with a bunch of other people. Everybody, whip out your lightsabers. We got a Sith guy here. I'm like, oh, like,
Right.
God, what am I doing here?
Right.
So
I was writing some notes on this. You
Yeah.
arrived at 1 o'clock
Mm-hmm.
one day, and then you depart at 10 o'clock 2 days later. So you're not even there 48 hours. If you account for minimal sleep, that's what, 5 hours a night,
yeah,
10 hours, Anyway, I was doing the 4 people at $6,000. I'm like, that's $206 per hour to be there.
That's insane.
Yeah, I don't make that.
That's
it's crazy. Meanwhile,
Look,
those employees aren't getting paid that.
afford it or not, right? Look, I can afford that, but I still won't do that.
Yeah,
I mean, because that's an insane amount of money to pay for some. And look, here's the thing: we went to Galaxy's. We've all been there, right? It's really cool. It's an incredible experience. But I by no means feel like I am in the world. I'm in Star Wars.
right.
Right.
I mean, it's a park, right? And there are a lot of people there. So there isn't anything they can do really, unless it's just you on the set, that's ever going to make you feel completely immersed.
I
Right,
think that you can, but I feel like there's things missing from Galaxy's Edge, which I think was I'm very upset that they're including it in the hotel. So it means that they could do it. Some of the things that like the Cantina experience.
Yes.
I love the Cantina experience, but
Right.
I feel like they missed out on the idea of having an ability for you to sit there for a longer period of time, maybe having a meal or something. Having alien bartenders or servers, or even aliens running around the park. Period. You don't see. Yeah, you don't see anything like that. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
They don't have a cantina band in there?
They have
It's
a robot.
robot.
It's playing the DJ.
DJ, more modern sounding.
Well, the whole funny thing about it is it's the robot that used to pilot the Star Tours, right?
Right.
And then he crash landed on Batu, and so now he's a
DJ.
He's a DJ at the bar because they won't let him fly Star Tours anymore.
It's cute, but you go missed opportunity.
Yeah.
You know?
And by the way, it's still based on the sequel trilogy.
It's still based on. That's the other thing that bugs me. It's like, okay, so the idea that we're gonna take and we want to get people with money to come to the park. The people that have money to come that are Star Wars fans are older people. We like the older Star Wars stuff. We don't like this new Star Wars stuff.
Right.
So like, who of the new trilogy fans can afford this?
Right.
You know.
No, we're the ones with the money fitting the bill for the kids to go to this experience. So unless there's something for the adults also, there's very little motivation, other than your kids nagging you to go, right? But I don't know. I think what they did is they priced out a huge segment of the population who are Star Wars fans. And I think that in their calculus, they figure there are still plenty of people who will fork out that money to come. So we really don't have to worry about it. We're still going to be fully booked, even at that price. And so their concern more is the bottom line, not necessarily giving everybody the opportunity to experience this.
See, that bugs me too, because like if you watch old, and granted, I mean maybe Walt Disney was not being truthful when he was being interviewed by this, but his whole thing was, making a park so that everyone could come to the park and experience this.
Right.
It's not like that at all anymore.
But hey, Disney is a business. Right. And I don't fault them for considering their bottom line, their shareholders, their profit margins. That's the way it is. In fact, there's a guy on YouTube, Robert Meyer Burnett. He does a lot of commentary, and he was talking. He said this line, and I'll never forget it. He said, "Hey, this ain't show friends, it's show business."
Right.
And it's very true, right? So however we feel about it, I certainly will never go to this thing, not at that price. And for $6,000 for a family of 4, I could go on a cruise for a week.
So me and Jen will be there for 7 days, 6-day park hopper, staying at Wilderness Lodge, which was one of their nicer hotels, for less than you'll spend for your 45 hours doing that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And to take a trip to buy airfare, like for someone like me who has to fly there, to get airfare for 4 people for 2 days.
Yeah. And then you got to figure that the entrance to that thing doesn't start till 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I think is when you're supposed to go.
Yeah, that's what he was saying.
Experience. So
1.
that means you need to get there the day before. So you got to have some other kind of accommodations before you can go do this experience.
And that's not really relaxing, because then you got to get there, then you got to pack your stuff back up to get over there, then unpack there for a day and a half.
Yeah.
And me and you would have $1,000 in drinks. So
absolutely, absolutely. I would try every drink on the bar.
Visit afterwards.
Yeah, and the hospital visit.
And on top of it all, that new lightsaber that they developed, you don't even get to touch that thing. You just get to see someone turn it on.
Yeah.
Really?
Something that thick around.
It's gotta be a monster.
I'll fight you.
It's attached to the desk, right?
Like you're saying, Craig, there was the Wilderness Lodge. I've stayed there. It is a freaking awesome hotel. And then I was pricing it because I'm telling you, for the 3 days after they announced that the price to it, I'm sitting there doing the math and trying to okay, if I sell this, if I take it and get this out of here, I could get the money together, and then it wouldn't be coming out of my house account. And my wife is like, you better not sell a goddamn statue. If you sell one statue for this, I'm gonna, you're gonna be held to pay. So I'm like, and then I'm thinking it over. I'm like, why am I doing this? It's like I could, for that money, I could convert my whole house into a Star Wars experience, and I'll experience that shit every day.
Right. Right.
So, including getting my wife to finally wear the damn Princess Leia slave outfit.
Hey, that's another show.
Anovos had produced that one, right?
The Anovos, but
That
now
I would take short
you would have bought that. I bought the
Oh.
Halloween costume for that one. I showed it to my wife, and she was like, "Nope." It's like,
That doesn't
Yeah.
work for me anymore. Not when your kid's named Leia.
Right?
Oh, I hear you. I hear you.
Oh, geez, Frankie, we named our child her middle
Oh,
name.
you did too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hers is Leia Elizabeth Arwen, so she's got Star Wars, Pirates of the Caribbean, and Lord of the Rings.
Oh, jeez.
And now they're doing away with fast passes at the park too. They want to charge for that.
Really?
Yeah. Now it's called Genie Plus. So,
Genie Plus.
Yeah, which totally trashes the genie from Aladdin. They got Genie on there, and he's basically, instead of granting you wishes, he's taking your money. So,
Well, it's that evil genie that's in there now,
Yeah.
right?
yeah, it's got to be $15 to get to ride the basic rides on a fast pass for the day, and then if you want to go for the better rides, you have to pay even more. So that's what they're looking for these fast passes now. So I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I got to get with you guys, too, because my wife's on my ass about what are we doing so I can get all this stuff booked. We got our room booked. I just got to get the other stuff done.
Well, we're not going to be doing any fast passing, so you don't got to worry about that.
Right.
We do got to schedule the meals probably because of the size of the group.
I've never been, so I don't know anything about any of it. So this is going to be an experience.
Hey, it's an incredible experience. Look, when we went and we met up with George and his wife, and we just had, it was an amazing thing to witness.
Yeah.
Right? Just a full scale Millennium Falcon and all the other
Can't wait.
Right. It is. It's incredible. They've done something really incredible. I have the same criticism that George does, though, which is had they made it based on the original trilogy, it would have been so. To see a Darth Vader and a Chewbacca walking around, it would have been incredible, right?
Yeah.
Prior to Galaxy's Edge, we had Star Tours, and then the Star Tours section has, or I'm pretty sure it still has it there, a speeder bike that you could take pictures on, and then you would see the original Star Wars characters walking around. You'd see Vader, you'd see Chewbacca, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia. You'd see everybody walking around occasionally in that area, and then they would have the kids do the lightsaber experience where they fight Vader or fight a Sith Lord. They had that all the time. They had Star Wars weekends is what they called it, where you had the Disney characters dress up as the Star Wars characters, which made it even more fun. They had drinks that were
Celebrities.
Star Wars. You had celebrities show up that you can have signatures with. So they had all that. They had a firework thing that went down at the end of the night with pyrotechnics and music and everything, and it would bring a tear to your eye watching all this stuff. It was amazing seeing all this stuff. Galaxy's Edge opens it up, and it is a great experience, like you said, like all the cool stuff that you see there. None of that stuff is there. Everything just disappeared. You don't see the 501st walking around anymore. The only thing that you see consistently is Kylo Ren and his 2 stormtroopers.
Right.
That's what you see all the time. Rey may walk around here or there, and you may see Chewbacca, make an appearance. Which I give Chewbacca the pass is because it's fucking hot in Florida. I can't see how you can walk outside of that suit.
I can't imagine.
So, I commend that guy. But where are the other Star Wars characters that are there?
I didn't really register that, but you didn't see anything other than that little skit thing that they did for 5 minutes.
Well, that's intentional. They're trying to phase out the original trilogy and cater to a new generation of Star Wars fans based on the sequel trilogy.
Right.
So they intentionally remove the original trilogy feel and characters and everything from the equation. And that wasn't it's certainly not a licensing issue or anything like that, right? So it's obviously very intentional that they did it this way.
Yeah.
First night on the TV show, who do they have there, though? Harrison Ford?
Yeah.
Lucas?
All the old people.
Lando?
Yeah, all of the original.
Billy Williams?
Yeah, well, because the people who like the kids who are now growing up with the sequel trilogy don't have money to spend on these things, right?
Yeah, like he was saying.
Not on the high-end pieces, at least.
Not on any of that. I mean, a ticket to Disney's what, 120, 140, I think is what it is. If you want to do the park hopper passes.
Yeah.
I would say on average, if you want to go to for a day or two to the park, you're gonna spend close to like $500. You know, between the price of the hotel, your park entrance, and then if you're eating or anything, and that's not even really getting into the drinks.
Yeah.
You know.
But
so,
Craig, I'm just blown away by when you did that calculation. 200 and how much an hour?
206 for a family of 4 per hour. And that's, I think, I said if you include sleeping, you know, that was kind of the waking hours or whatever, you know, because, I mean, you're going to pass out if you don't sleep at some point or whatever.
Yeah.
There's like 150, you know, if you even include time, you're paying $150 to sleep.
Right.
Per hour.
At that price, I'll be taking like some freaking crack or some shit like that, just keep myself awake. You know, you'd see me in there with like the whistle blowing like that, like that one.
George would be in the cantina. Where's the death sticks?
Keep
He's
me
like got a
awake.
nervous twitch going. You know, I'm not
sleep.
missing a minute.
That is insane, right? But look, there are experiences, hotels, resorts in the world that cost that kind of money. Okay, I mean, I won't lie. When I got married, my wife and I went on a honeymoon in St. Lucia, and the resort we stayed at's probably one of the nicest in the world. Cost about that much.
Yeah.
Right.
But your room looked like a house, man. I've seen the pictures.
But the room was 3,000 square feet and had a swimming pool in it, and you had a 270-degree panoramic view of the Caribbean Ocean.
Right.
I mean,
that's something that you pay for. Here, you're gonna get a cabin the size of like a cruise ship. Which, if you've ever been on one of them, that's super small with a viewport like that. You know,
and
that's where your space.
It's not a window, right?
Yeah.
It's a
It's a screen.
It's a monitor. It's a
Yeah.
monitor, which
Yeah.
we all spend every day looking at, right?
Yeah.
But it's like a screensaver, right?
But one of the rooms has 2 monitors.
Oh.
Oh.
So this is the thing, and for
Big
$6,000 for 2 days, it's just that seems like insanity to me.
It is. It is. When I first heard they were making the Star Wars hotel, my thought was that the room was going to be probably the price of like the Grand Floridian, which is like a $600 a night to $700 a night, room, and and you're paying for the room. You're not paying for the person. You know, my daughters won't even do half the stuff that's going on at the park.
Hey, this is a good point.
Yeah.
That's a way to make some extra money on it. Like change the trilogies out.
Yeah.
They should.
That would be cool.
You know, do you get repeaters for that? Because most of these people that are going to go to this, it's probably going to be a one-time experience, right? You can get the same. You can get money for 3 times off of one person.
Yeah.
Yep.
Change the screen, what's on the screen, and change
and the
characters.
Yeah, but
the one guy can't remember who he is. He comes in there as Kylo Ren. He's Darth Vader. Like, got the wrong person.
So I'm my grandpa today.
But Disney must, they have a whole army of people that sit down and calculate all this stuff out and say, what price point can we set? How many people are we going to get for this amount of money? And, what can we get away with? That kind of thing. And they've all, they must have made these calculations. So,
that's what it is right now. I wonder if it goes down because, just the price of things right now, everything's high. You know, even for the lumber. Lumber's gone up hundreds of % since 4 years ago.
I don't know what is driving all of these rapid, shifts in pricing. I mean, whether it's all supply and demand based or whatever. Last night we were at dinner and one of my friends showed me, he was like, he wanted to take a trip to Scottsdale from Portland, Oregon. I mean, it's a nonstop flight. And he was showing me for the time period of spring break when he can go. He's booking from now until March of next year. You know what the round trip cost was? It was $4,700 for 4 people.
Wow.
Yeah, that's insane. That's a ticket that usually costs like $200.
Yeah. I know my wife's. They're staying at. So they're going to a concert in the Florida Keys in February, I think. A bunch of bands are playing. The hotel there, it's like stupid expensive, but she checked the prices for the week before, and it's way less.
Yeah. I don't know. This is we're living in interesting times.
Yep.
But we'll see. We'll see how successful it is for them. I'm sure in the beginning they're going to have. Well, they're already booked out. How long, George?
Are they booked out already? I don't think it's even come up.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Oh.
No, I don't think it's come up yet. So.
Okay.
But it will be.
Yeah.
It'll be people
Yeah,
paying.
I'm
George-
sure that
George
you're
is
going to
waiting.
get. Yeah. I'm over here like. I'm trying
refresh,
to get
refresh.
I ain't happy about it, but I'm paying it.
Well, what you
I'm trying to get a media pass, man. I'm like, hey, man, I'll give it a good review. Just send me in there. Come on.
Well, look,
I won't do that.
For them, then you're going to see the prices come down, and it's going to be under the guise of we realize that we want more people to experience. We want it's to be accessible to everyone, but that you'll know. If
Disney's done that before. Like when I think when my parents were taking me, Disney had like a spike in their pricing, and then for a long time it dropped. Like you can go to the park. I think at one point it was like $60, which was less than what my parents were paying when they were taking me as a kid, and even up until about 5 years ago. No, maybe like 7 years ago now. Big time. It was somewhat affordable. Like you can go there and I would spend way under a $400 range to go there and spend the whole weekend. Like from Thursday to Sunday, staying at a moderate hotel, going to the parks and hanging out. Now it's just it's impossible to do that. So we'll see whatever goes back.
Yeah, well, there are probably a lot of upfront costs for them too to create the hotel, the experience, the whole thing, right? To build out all the rooms. And at commercial costs for doing something, it's probably millions and millions of dollars that they're having to pour into this. So, who knows? They want to make it back. Initially, maybe the prices will come down at that point.
First 2 months.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Get all the rich people to go first, right? Everybody that wants to go to space, here's your chance, man.
That's
Okay, it's paid for now. Y'all come at 4,000.
But I was talking about the experience, right? Look, I mean, if you're sitting in a hotel room and in behind the glass on your window, you see a monitor screen, right? Are you going to really feel immersed?
Yeah, that's not going to make me.
I mean, none of this stuff is new to us anymore, right? Seeing an LCD screen is not. It doesn't have any mystique anymore. Right?
Yeah, immersive to me would be like these guests. We have X-wing simulators or TIE Fighter simulators, and you guys are going to fight each other.
Right.
So you climb into a cockpit, like put some gear on, and then they have those type of flight simulators. I remember when I went to Chicago years ago when BattleTech was really big, and they had like 3 full-scale mechs in there, and you could climb into this thing, and when it closed, there was a screen, and you were in a mech fighting, and it would rock and stuff. I mean, that thing was, and it was like $35 for 20 minutes.
Oh wow!
Somebody
here's $200.
Somebody on
Here's
Facebook.
$200, man.
Yeah. That'll be badass. I don't think
Somebody on
they're gonna do
Facebook said for $6,000, I better be getting a hand cut off.
that. Yeah. I want the full thing, right?
Oh, that's great.
Now
That's
that's
awesome.
immersive.
But that would be immersive. That would be something.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I was just really expecting it to be like a $600 a night hotel room that made me feel like I was inside a Star Wars ship, of some kind, where you had good restaurants, you had people walking around looking like aliens, and I would have done that. But I would have tried to convince my wife, but I would have tried to do that. But this is just, it's insanity, I think. So.
Yeah. Well, you'll see initially. Well, look at Regal Robot, right? Look at the stuff that they produce. Every time they put out a new item, everyone's just like, "Oh, this is ridiculous. This costs, this is unaffordable for most people, and then they sell out in 30 minutes. So, they've done their calculations. They know that they're going to get, people on board for this, even though they price out a lot of people. But as a business decision, they're probably going to be successful.
But something like that, I like that because, like, if I really want something from them, because like most of their stuff, it's out of my range. But if I really want something, then I'm going to get it, and I'm going to be happy knowing that like there are not a whole lot of people that have this.
That's what makes Regal Robot special like that.
Right.
Yeah, so I could see where they try. You have the signatures from Phil Tippett and that kind of stuff in there.
Yeah.
So that adds to the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, this is something that anybody who's crazy enough to spend on is going to be able to do it, and we could do it as many times as you want to, as long as you keep affording to do it. But
That's
right.
I mean, I would never have to do this more than once.
I want to put in a little plug to my friends over at Collection Wars.
Yeah.
If you guys didn't get a chance to watch the show last night, they had Tom Spina, Kirk Thatcher, and Tony McVeigh. Right, Tony McVeigh is the guy who sculpted Salacious Crumb.
Yeah.
Kirk Thatcher worked on Return of the Jedi, did a lot of the puppeteering, and I mean worked in the creature shop, and then of course Tom, who Regal Robot, and they just created that Salacious Crumb replica.
I love that thing. That thing is so awesome.
They do an amazing work on all of their stuff. I mean, that Rancor that I have back there is just, I mean, I absolutely love it. It's one of my prized pieces. They do beautiful work.
True.
Did you get the Chewie bust?
I did not.
It's big.
Well, you know what though? If I were to buy a bust, from them, that's what I would get. I mean, that to me, I would prefer that over a Salacious Crumb, and they're about the same price. So, but in terms of busts, like I would probably rather have a Vader bust or a Boba Fett bust like the one George just got before I would have Chewbacca. But they did. I mean, it's fantastic. It's absolutely. I know a few people who have them and they're just in awe over the bust, over the quality of the work.
That's well done.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
next subject. I know it's gonna be a long episode. We got so much crap to cover. But I figured like this would probably be the last topic. But I heard that the Mandalorian season 3 is gonna be start filming this month, September. Which that means that we're definitely, obviously we already knew that we weren't going to see it this year. We're probably not going to see it until next year at some point. How do you guys feel about when do you guys think it's going to come out? Do you like the spacing so far of the Star Wars shows on Disney Plus? What they have to offer? I know we got Visions that's going to be coming out here real soon. This kind of all goes into all of that. What do you guys think about all this news for as far as Star Wars content that we're going to be getting on Disney Plus?
I mean, knowing what they got to do, I'm okay with it as long as we get something each year.
Yeah,
right.
I think a live action once a year and a cartoon series twice a year is a pretty good flow.
True.
I mean, would I love to see that Mandalorian season right now? Yeah, sure. But I mean, I don't mind waiting as long as they keep up the quality that we've been getting and the stories and everything. I mean, I'm looking forward to that Visions.
What do you guys think about Visions? I mean, it's an anime. I feel like it's kind of like Star Wars answer to what's going right now with Marvel with their with
the What If.
The What If.
Yeah.
And the What If episodes are actually really good.
I'm enjoying them. They're really, really good.
Oh, yeah, definitely. The Visions looks amazing. It doesn't feel or look like Star Wars to me.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be a great Japanese anime. I mean, I'm definitely going to watch it.
I'm so happy that they're coming in dubbed. I saw the first trailer and it was all Japanese with the subtitles. I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to read. I was like, I don't want to read. It's like I'm here to watch a visual entertainment. I don't want to read nothing.
When's the book of Boba fallen?
In
December.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that should carry us, I think it's 6 episodes or 8 episodes? 6? So that should carry us until like February. And then
they should be 2 hours each.
Right. Wow. They're 2 hours each?
No, I wish.
For breathing satisfaction.
That would be awesome if it was. But 6 hours, 6 episodes, that's going to carry us into February. And then there's going to be a big gap. Because, I mean, I think that with Mandalorian filming or beginning filming in this coming month, we're probably not going to see that until next fall.
I'd say September, October. I bet October. It'll be October when it drops.
Right? When it drops?
Yeah.
Star Wars Legacy says that Visions equals Coda Bakia.
Coda Bakia. Yeah, you're going to get a lot of Coda Bakia stuff. Yeah. I like that one part of the trailer where you see the one guy pull out the cool lightsaber and then the one pulls out like 6. And I was like, what?
So, Joseph, who's your favorite character?
So that's a really tough one. I tend to really love the wise philosophical characters. So Yoda
So he
from
likes
Empire, and
Craig.
and actually, I actually really like Qui-Gon Jinn. I mean, because he personifies that, the wise, insightful Jedi.
Liam Neeson's just got to get that good voice. It's like I hear him and Aslan. He's played all these like deep characters.
Just presence.
I like to see a series on him up to what got him to that point and how he's his philosophy and mentality about everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. Because didn't he he was offered a seat on the Jedi Council?
Yeah,
and put it down.
Right.
Yeah. But I love that part of, that to me is what I love about Star Wars is the philosophy. Every time I watch Empire and I hear Yoda telling Luke about what the Force is, I mean, it gives me goosebumps.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Oh, don't forget, Wednesday is on the Star Wars gallery. It's the Luke episode.
Yes, the Luke episode, finally. I wish they would have made that longer, man. It's because I feel like the gallery's stuff was very interesting. The first season, how they made Mandalorian. Gypped us for season 2.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed the behind the scenes stuff almost as much as the show.
Oh yeah.
Some of it.
Yeah, last night on the show they were talking about from Star Wars to Jedi, the making of the Star Wars, that really old documentary that came out. They kept showing clips from that, and I was like, I got to go back and watch that again.
That is. I mean, I love all that behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, I think a lot that inspired a lot of us, right? Growing up. I mean, how many of us wanted to go into special effects and filmmaking after?
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think Pete's feeling a little better.
So where's the ban button?
That's funny. Star Wars Visions is 9 stories. Yeah, 9 separate stories too. But so is so. Here's some of the things that I'm worried about with that. Like the trailer looks dope. With the Marvel What If series, I feel like the animation is very cohesive. So even though the stories are not tied together, I feel like the animation kind of ties together.
Right.
With this series, we're gonna have very different styles on all the different episodes, as well as different takes. So the humor is gonna be very different. So I feel like what we're getting in the trailer is giving us the absolute best, and I'm afraid about that. I'm afraid that I'm going to go in there, I'm going to catch one of these episodes, and I'm going to be like, this sucked.
I don't think so, but you really got to be into anime.
Right.
So anime is a whole different type of culture and medium for storytelling. Mm-hmm. And if you're not into anime, you're probably not going to like this stuff at all.
Okay.
Craig, are you not into anime?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely I like more than others, but there are some that I'm like, you're 10 minutes into it and you're like, nope.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, the animation style is incredible, right?
Yeah.
Whether or not you're into the stories is
it looks cool.
Thing, right? So have you guys seen that somebody, I don't know who it was, and this came out many years ago, but someone did an anime with it's actually a battle.
The TIE Fighter one?
The TIE Fighter one. Yeah.
The TIE Fighter pilot, yeah.
That was incredible.
I'm wondering whether that was the inspiration behind doing this. And if this is anything, if Visions is anything like that, I think we're all going to be really impressed.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That had that like old Star Blazers feel to it.
Yeah.
And Robotech.
I mean, even those little shorts they do on the Star Wars channel, on their Facebook channel. I forgot what the series is called, but they do these shorts where they show the character. They had Luke fight the Rancor, and it had that anime style to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was very well done.
Yeah.
Where we started this conversation, everybody was saying doesn't feel like, and me and George were having a conversation sitting in Galaxy's Edge. I can't remember where we were or whatever, but I was saying, what about architecture and whenever people set design and all makes Star Wars? It's like it when you see it. But, or it doesn't fit or whatever, so that would be my concern with this. Does it feel Star Wars? Or does it feel like something alien with lightsabers,
Right. And I feel like it could end up happening that way. So
it's hard to capture that essence.
Mm-hmm.
But they might nail it.
I'm still going to watch it.
It depends on what the stories are like, what the writing is like. If it's really individual stories, I mean, it's really hard to do kind of character development in a single episode. But if well written, then it could be really, really good. So
Kyber Collections action. Would you guys like to see a Qui-Gon Jinn series? Something about his origins?
Sure.
I would love that.
That'd be dope.
As long as Liam Neeson's playing him.
Yeah, they could get him back, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That'd be hard. He'd be a hard character to replace, or actor rather.
He's got that voice. He can't.
Yeah.
That voice. You can't replace that.
Can't replicate that. What about the Obi-Wan series?
That Obi-Wan series is another thing I'm very interested to. I don't. Is that supposed to come out next year? I'm not sure if it's supposed to come out.
No, I think it's the year after.
Year after, right?
It's the year after. Yeah.
So we really are going to have a big gap. I hope they have Bad Batch season 2 next year. That would be cool if it's ready to gear up, because season 1 ended, and I thought it ended pretty well. I do feel like it had. I feel like it's a good show. It's not as good as the Clone Wars, in my opinion.
I think it's just building up, because I think it goes hand in hand with the Clone Wars and even Clone Wars building up through the years. Maybe. I mean, it's just kind of like that, Look, you go back to the the last 2 episodes of Clone Wars, and then look at the first 2 episodes or the first 2 seasons. Different. It's very different, and I think that's just doing this. It's building it up, because you watched that last episode, and dude, there was when the city was going into the water. Yeah, it was that same type of music and everything, like when
the music was well done. The last 2 episodes.
It was just like in Clone Wars when the fight and stuff was going on.
Yeah,
very, very dramatic.
Yeah, it was very dramatic. I just felt like when it came to the Bad Batch, and the Clone Wars had this too, but I think because the Clone Wars had so many seasons and it was over the years, I think it was more, I accepted it more. They had a lot of filler episodes. They had a lot of episodes.
Yeah, there was a lot.
That they had no point other than to take us here and maybe develop more character, but I feel like all that was still done even without those episodes. So like trying to get Craig or Joseph now to watch it, which both of them have not seen the Clone Wars.
Well, I'm in season 3.
Season 3 of the Clone Wars.
I haven't. I watched the first. I'm in mid season 3, but it's really slow going. There's just not a whole lot of time to.
And Craig, you haven't seen the Clone Wars. How many Clone Wars? Have you seen?
Started. Got like 3 or 4 episodes in, and
okay. At the beginning is a little bit hard.
Right.
But take it from someone who did exactly what you did. I watched the first 3 or 4 episodes, and then I was like, "This is ridiculous. This is for kids. I'm not watching this."
You gotta muscle through it.
George told me you gotta stick with it. You gotta get in, and as it progresses, it becomes much more geared toward adults, and the themes that are involved, etc. And it is getting that way. So I still need to continue.
I'm real big on the weight of characters and identifying and all that, and they from stuff we've done previously, like CG drives me nuts. If it's like Luke at the end of Mandalorian, I hated it.
Right.
I did not like it at all. I liked everything up until he pulled the head back, and then I'm out, at that moment. So just to give you an idea. So I think that's what animated is with me. I can't feel what an animated character is projecting. Now, if it's exceptionally well done, like some of the Pixar stuff and all that, it emotes and it connects and all that. But for the most part, animated stuff falls flat for me.
The last season definitely did that. Holy crap, it did
By
that.
season 3, you start getting a lot more emotion. You can see the difference in the animation style, the I don't know if the budgets got better or they just got better animators or just better technology. But the difference in the animation between season 1 and season 3 was like a very stark difference. And then by the end...
And Filoni's growth in storytelling.
Yeah.
You can tell it growing.
No, the CG and Bad Batch, like that end scenes where they were on Camino and like the bombing and all that, I'm just going like, this is phenomenal work, to it. So I was appreciating that aspect of it.
And that's what they got me with on that last Bad Batch, because it's like, all right, here's Crosshair. He's going to be coming back. He's going to be coming back. And then it's like, well, is he coming back?
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, damn it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I like it.
Story
I like it, though, because you don't know.
Yeah. That story was only human interest part of it that I connected with a little bit.
But yeah, I feel like over the full season, they didn't really touch on that so much. Like they gave you like a few episodes where you had that littered in there, but for like the bulk of it, there was these weird, boring missions that they were getting from the one lady. I can't remember her name right now. Sid. I don't know if it's a lady. It could be a
side
dude.
quest.
Yeah, very
Yes.
side quest.
You know who plays it, right?
Who?
Rhea Perlman.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Huh?
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah, it's
hilarious.
Rhea Perlman.
Yeah, so like when you see those episodes, other than the few where you get some a little nostalgic characters that show up in there, to give you that feeling. There's a lot of it that I was like, okay, like when are we gonna get back to the main story of this whole thing? And then the last 3 episodes were great. The last 3 episodes were really, really good.
Yeah.
Especially when they started kicking in the music from the Empire. They started like subtly throwing it in there.
And those first the first series stormtroopers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They use the Macquarie style stormtrooper helmets.
Mhm.
I love how Filoni does that when he takes this old stuff and starts tying it in. It's like, I mean, I love that stuff.
It's good.
Craig, quick question.
Yes.
You mentioned the thing about Luke at the end of Mando season 2 and how that didn't sit well with you, right?
Mhm.
How did you feel about, because I'm there with you on that one. I found it incredibly distracting.
Yes.
And I felt the same way about what they did in Rogue One with Tarkin. How did you feel about that?
That one didn't bother me as much. Not sure why. I mean, it did distract me because whenever I see CG face replacement like that, I'm not in the story. I'm analyzing the entire time. I'm looking at it, and I guess the Tarkin was done a little bit better than the Luke was done. Because two lines into it, I was like, this should be absolutely awesome, and I'm like totally bummed out that they did this. That somebody mentioned that it should have been Sebastian Stan, and I don't know what contracts and schedules and all that, but that was what
I would have been more preferred, in my opinion, to just have a different actor that
use a replacement to where I can emote with that guy versus this
but
video
I feel
game.
Like Tarkin has a very like stoic, evil. Like he didn't really express a lot of emotions even when he was.
He doesn't emote, so maybe that's it. They could replicate.
Right.
Well, here's the thing. Have you seen the deep fake?
Yeah.
Where they took Rogue One and then they deep faked Tarkin. It's actually it's much better.
Much better.
They did the same thing with Luke, and they hired
Luke, and they hired him.
They hired that YouTuber.
Oh no! With Luke, they did another. I saw that one where they actually redid the whole scene where they did a deep fake with another actor. Mm-hmm. But the Tarkin one was, I don't know how they did that exactly, but the deep fake technology that they used was better than the original CG technology that they used.
More realistic.
But like you, when I saw Rogue One for the first time, I completely missed the entire dialogue when Tarkin came on because I was so distracted by the appearance that I couldn't follow what was happening.
Right. That's what I'm thinking with that is because up to that point, you see it like there's been movies and stuff that have kind of done it, but nobody's ever like to have that close up a detail of a human actor. So now when we go fast forward to Luke and okay, we've had this, the way technology moves, we should be way above that. And then you get somebody that comes on YouTube and does it with whatever equipment they have. And you're talking a movie studio that has the best equipment, the best software, and supposedly the best software engineers. They should be doing a much better job than some dude on YouTube.
Right. Well, I have a friend in the industry, and he told me I told him how I was getting distracted and how I didn't like it. Somehow it didn't sit well with me. And he's like, well, you know why that's happening, right? And I said, no, I have no idea. He said, well, there's a phenomenon called Uncanny Valley. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard that term before. I had never heard the term before. No. He said, basically, your brain will accept reality and it will accept something that is very different from reality, right? Like a puppet or an animation or whatever, because it's not real, but you're still accepting what you're seeing.
Sure.
He said, however, if something is extremely close to reality, but not, like close but no cigar, it completely throws your brain off and you become very distracted by what you're seeing and you're not able to focus on the story. And he said, so this is actually a known phenomenon.
What's it called?
It's called Uncanny Valley.
Uncanny Valley.
I'm not sure the origin of the term. It doesn't, it's just it doesn't seem to make sense. But I haven't looked into it further. But that's what he told me, and then it kind of made sense. And that, I think, is the same reason that when they do CGI, like, graphics, like space battles and things like that, as opposed to filming a miniature and doing it that way, it's the same thing. And I think it's just subtle things like, the light reflecting the exact way that it would in real life. So your brain picks up on that subconsciously and you reject it.
Right. That's the big reason for the success of the volume. Because they're able to mimic all that stuff that they're filming the Mandalorian in,
right?
And all the,
being able to do it like that.
And they actually use, like for the Razor Crest, they actually have a physical model that they were, at least in some of the scenes.
Right.
I don't know if you two read that article.
Not anymore.
Right. It's dust.
Not anymore. It's gone.
Right. Always gotta keep on pushing it, huh? Gotta keep on pushing it, right? Well, your ship's not even called the Slave One anymore. How about
easy?
What do they call it? The fire.
The fire spray. The class of the ship is a fire spray, but they're saying that's the name.
That's the name now. The class of the ship really is. And it got people all over the place. Like I saw somebody's video and I'm like, I can't believe they're calling it the fire spray. Who even came up with that name? I was like, well, George Lucas came up with that name.
Yeah.
They're just using it.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know if y'all read the article I sent to the guy that did all the props for New Hope, Star Wars. I always hate calling it Star Wars. Excuse me, I always hate calling it New Hope.
New Hope. Yes.
Star Wars.
Right.
Yep.
But if I say that, nobody knows what I'm talking about. So anyway, he's the guy that built all the props. Like he literally went into a shop and found the Mauser, found the thing or whatever. And he was talking in that article, at least that's where I'm recalling this from. But he was talking about the weight of the weapons and how, as you watch that on screen, your brain buys that, versus most sci-fi stuff, it's a plastic resin gun, and how much difference that makes to the reality that your brain perceives of that scene. Yeah, just the way that the actor handles that gun.
Yeah, when Obi-Wan hands Luke the lightsaber,
Yes.
This was your father's, and he's holding it. You can tell that it has this weight that it's metal, right?
And it does. I think it's got some serious weight to it.
Right.
Yeah.
And the direction that Lucas was giving him, right? So when you're in a fight, his brain, they were heavy weapons, and so they don't have that fluidity like using a fiberglass prop would do.
Right.
Well, they were right. They were heavy because the original ones they used had motors in them that were spinning the little blade with all the the reflector material on it. Yeah.
Yep.
So.
All right. Well, we've been going on for an hour and nearly 45 minutes. This has been a longer episode than we've done in the past. I can't promise you that next week's going to be an hour and 45
He's got to get the gun.
The gun.
Yeah.
That's right. For people that stayed long enough, we got a little prop for you to look at.
1 second. Let me go grab it.
Look at all those awesome things.
The person that asked about it left an hour ago.
He's gone?
No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Oh, man. I think we had a couple questions in the back there. I think one person asked, would you guys like to see a Mace Windu or Yoda origin story? I would be okay with the Mace. Well, I want to see if Mace Windu survived. I think would be awesome. Jesus Christ.
Oh, my gosh. Look at that thing.
Wow.
So this is the Zf1 from Fifth Element. And here's the other kind of.
Wow.
Right. This thing is really heavy. And let me turn it on for you here.
Yes, my brain is registering that.
More Cube 1 or 2, thank you, man. I appreciate it, buddy.
Okay,
and then we got OG, thank you, man.
Here we go. George, I don't know. Do you want to make the screen bigger?
Yeah, I'm going to make it bigger. Hold on.
There we go.
Bigger on it. There you go.
Ready?
Yep.
Oh, my gosh, man. That is amazing.
And then here's the
lights and everything.
LEDs, yeah.
Look at that.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
Dang.
Here we go. Hold on.
Wow.
Man, that's worth every penny.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's a weapon for Spaceballs for sure.
Yeah, right?
12D batteries last about 30.
No, it has a huge lithium battery in it, which is probably the reason that.
Oh, it's got a lithium battery in there.
Nice.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, because it's made to be able to carry it around all day and cosplay,
Cool.
with it. And so, but I mean, I can't carry that thing around all day. It's insane.
Yeah, that thing looks.
I'm afraid of what the metal one is going to be like.
Man, Joseph, you got to get that museum opened.
I know.
No doubt.
Believe me, I'm in the process of, because I'm so overwhelmed by all of the boxes and the Raiders warehouse out there. I've now undertaken, I'm moving everything out into storage, and then I'm just going to bring things back slowly and unpack. So I actually have room to unpack, because right now I have no room. I can barely walk around in here.
Mm.
So it makes it very, very difficult.
You should see all this over here.
I know the stuff you guys don't see that's beyond the camera.
Yeah, I mean it's really bad. So, so I am looking forward to being able to do that and get things moving.
Yeah, I saw that. Cosplay.
That's funny.
Plays the word. That's awesome.
You open a museum and charge $200 an hour for
that's
admission.
There you go.
I pay that before the hotel.
There you go.
Yeah, it would be tough to do that, because almost everybody that I meet in this community becomes a friend, and then it's like I can't charge my friends to see this stuff. So, yeah.
Well,
but anyway, thanks George for having me on, and
absolutely, man.
great being with you guys.
You guys are always welcome to come back on. I can't promise you that next week we're going to have an hour and 45-minute episodes. I think even though we didn't capture everything that happened over the last 3 weeks, we did cover some of the bigger points, especially that Disney hotel.
And thank you to the 64 people that are on here watching. Appreciate
it. For everybody that has hung out with us, the super chats that we got, thank you so much. So next week we'll be back on Sunday again for another live episode. I'll figure out, me and Frankie will figure out what the subjects will be. But
maybe we'll do another build or something. Who knows?
Or another build. Maybe we'll get to another model build. I still got to paint the X-Wing. So it's been sitting over there since
I got to finish the Boba Fett. I'm finally done with doing my wife's business. She's up and running, so all that's done.
We're not as good as Craig. Craig knocked it together like that.
Oh, wow.
He's the model builder master.
I think his wife did it.
Anyway, guys, thanks for joining us for another episode. And until next time, may the Force be with you.